Yeah. All I need is one mic. Yeah. All I need is one mic.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of One Mic where I watch it so you don't have to. And today I'm here to talk about the season finale, series finale, who knows, of Marvel's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, titled One World, One People, which has been the phrase that the Flag Smashers have been saying all season. And the show's over. I'm interested to hear what people think. WandaVision was talked about a lot during its run because it was a pretty risky show. They pretty brave there. They took a lot of risk, and I think by and large it panned out. Like, people liked it. I thought it ended very well. But I haven't heard too many people talking about this show, and I've seen a lot of people say that they find it to be boring. A lot of people don't find it to be too interesting. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on what you thought of the season as a whole. So drop that in the comments. We can talk about it. What'd you think? As for me, I thought the show as a whole was solid. I thought this finale was solid. It's nothing that I am walking away from thinking they knocked it out of the park, whether that's the episode or the season as a whole. But it's still a really solid show. I did not find it to be boring. I found it to be entertaining. But it did have its issues along the way. This episode did have a couple issues itself, but by and large, another solid episode. We found out a lot of information here. So we found out what I hypothesized in the episode 2 podcast or video that I did for episode 2. I hypothesized that Sharon Carter might be the power broker, and that was revealed to be the case, which as if you watch the deep dive, the episode 5 deep dive with Axel and Tony Teflon, everyone kind of felt that the idea of it being Sharon at this point seemed too obvious, which I agree with. It became pretty obvious, I think. So for them to reveal it now, it was a very underwhelming reveal. If it had been something like if they had revealed it a little bit earlier, it might have been a little bit cooler to where it wasn't so obvious yet. But I do enjoy being right, so that's always a good thing. But I did find that reveal to be a little underwhelming, considering that I was fairly confident of this during episode 2, and at that point it was not obvious at all. And had it been revealed in, say, episode 3, then it might have been a thing where it's like, okay, now we can play around with this a little bit, like with us as the viewer knowing that she is essentially a double agent. We can look at her actions through a different lens. Whereas we were meant to look at her actions very straightforward, I was already looking at them through a different lens. So that for me just piled on more evidence that she was the power broker. But in a mid-credit scene, which, side note, I'm gonna rant about this because I complained about it all through WandaVision. I didn't complain about it here because I'm used to it. But they've been doing, these shows have been doing these 7-minute credits. You got a 35-minute runtime and 7 minutes of it is credits. I hate it. This one, the credits were almost 9 minutes. They throw in a mid-credit scene, but the mid-credit scene was like 30 seconds. Like what? I don't understand what this is with the credits, but we find out in the mid-credit scene that Sharon's been pardoned and that she will be resuming her Agent 13 role. And then she hops on the phone with somebody and basically says, yeah, we in there now. We might not have super soldier serum, but I can get you government plans, secrets, all this kind of stuff. So she's working with somebody. Interested to find out who that is. I don't think they introduced Contessa Valentina for no reason. I would wager that she might be the person that Sharon was on the phone with, but I'm sure we'll find out either in a future film or maybe a second season of this show, or who knows. I don't know what direction they plan on going with this. Though they did have in the end credits, they show that the name of the show is now Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And I think that's kind of where that's where I've always suspected we were going. I've covered each episode twice, and well, except episode 5, but the whole time it's been about, okay, eventually we're working towards Sam becoming Captain America, right? Yeah. So no surprises there, but it was still cool to see it happen. The suit looked really cool. Sam fighting as Captain America looked really cool. I like the combination of wings and shield. I like again the way they find creative ways to have Sam utilize his outfit, because Sam doesn't have powers, right? So everything that he does is gonna need to be creative. There's going to need to be some ingenuity there. There was a really cool moment where I can't recall who it was, but somebody hits him, probably one of the Flag Smashers, hits him on the shield, and then the wings like jam into the concrete to stop him from flying backward. And I thought that was like really cool. Like I like those kinds of things where we see there's another scene where I think he goes forward with his shield into somebody, but then uses the rockets from the backpack to push himself even farther forward. So I like to see that, like creative uses of Sam's wings. And I think the show as a whole did a great job with that throughout the course of this run. One of the things that I didn't like was I felt like there were some moments that were I don't want to say poorly written, but like there were specific lines that I didn't particularly care for. Example. There's some moment where Sam's flying around doing his thing or something, and some black guy goes, that's Black Falcon. And I'm like, oh, I rolled my eyes, and at the same time as the character next to him, I went, no, that's Captain America. Like, okay, like who wrote this? A fifth grader? Like, were you what fully grown adult writing for a Disney/Marvel television show wrote that line and thought this is gonna kill? Like that was so. Oh my God. I feel like a child would have written that. Like, man, no, that's Captain. Yes, we know. Thank you. But again, Sam becomes Cap. Really cool stuff. Really enjoyed seeing it. I think the best part of the episode, well, I know this is definitely the best part of the episode, and one of the better parts of the season is when he takes Isaiah Bradley to the memorial, which shout out to Axel for kind of like predicting that might happen. He takes Isaiah to the memorial, and there's like a statue of him there, and like a nice little thing written down about him. And I tried to read. I think I could only catch maybe like the first line of it, but I'm sure if you get a chance to read, I'm sure it's going to be pretty cool. And that was even on the heels of Isaiah and his grandson watching Sam on television and looking inspired. So I thought that was a nice touch as well. One of the other things that we predicted to happen on the deep dive was a official kind of like start of the creation of the Thunderbolts. That didn't happen in any kind of official capacity, but we do see Zemo orchestrating from prison the death of the Flag Smashers. And we also see Contessa Valentina give John a new suit. It's just a different color, but it's the same suit. And she goes, and this is another terrible lie. And she's like, we don't need a Captain America or something, or we need a U.S. agent. Okay. One, U.S. agent is a terrible name, right? It's a terrible name. U.S. agent, like, okay, whoever came up with that name didn't even try. But if we're going to present it as something cool, that needs to be presented at the time. So like maybe, and I understand when I say at the time, it's like, okay, maybe just now in the eyes of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, he's just becoming U.S. agent. But for literally everybody watching this show, he's been U.S. agent for like 4 episodes. So like to one, deliver that line as if it was like the coolest thing ever said. And then 2, to deliver it maybe about 4 episodes too late, just made that line just really just, like I did not like that line. But those are really, I think those are the only things that I had. Oh gosh, no, I forgot. I did have another issue. So this is gonna be kind of like a compliment sandwich a little bit, but it's not gonna be a sandwich. It's gonna be here's the positive aspect of this, and here's the negative aspect of this. So from a positive place, the episode opened with like a 30-minute action sequence. Like, I mean, it wasn't like, fast paced like craziness, but they wasted no time. They went straight into, okay, the Flag Smashers are trying to stop this vote happening about the GRC. Let's go, we're on our way to stop them. They're on their way to stop this vote. Everything's culminating, and that's at the start of the episode, right? And at that point, I think maybe about 15 minutes into it, I'm thinking loud at this point, I'm like, they're going to run this pretty long. And then the however much time is left in the episode after that is probably going to be spent kind of like almost like an epilogue, like, okay, here's where everybody is now kind of deal, right? And that's pretty much how it played out. But you're never gonna find an enemy in me when you start an episode with a 30-minute action sequence. I saw a lot of things that I liked throughout the course of that action sequence, but what I didn't like was you had multiple fights going on at the same time, and we would cut back and forth between these different stories, which is generally fine. I don't mind cutting back and forth between a story, and when I say a story, I mean, like, let's say what's happening with Carly versus what's happening with Zemo versus what's happening with Bucky and Sam versus what's happening with John. Like, I don't mind, say, we get, okay, here's some time with Carly, here's some time with John, here's some time with Bucky and Sam, whatever. I don't mind that. But what bothered me a little bit was the intercutting of the action sequences, because, like, what they, and I don't know if this was intentional. So, if it wasn't, then it's my fault for being dissatisfied with it. But when George St. Pierre, Batroc, whatever, when he shows up to fight Sam, my immediate thought was, oh my God, I'm going to get a repeat of Captain America versus Batroc, one of my favorite scenes from Captain America Winter Soldier. So immediately, like, why would I not go there? You got Captain America, you got George St. Pierre, let's do it again. Let's go. Like, that was a great, great fight sequence. And you want to know why? Because you saw the whole fight at one time. The camera was pulled back so you could see everything happening. It was super cool. It got tight when it needed to be, and it was far away when it wasn't. This was not that. This was like, it was hard to follow. It was the camera placement was wonky to where it's like sometimes I can kind of tell what's going on, sometimes I can't, and then it would cut constantly. So, like, it was like, okay, I might get a couple seconds of them fighting, and then, like, Sam's talking through his microphone and stuff. I'm like, man, this was not what I was hoping for with this. Like, I wanted to see something better than the fight between him and Steve from Winter Soldier. I'm like, let's see something even better than that. And I guess it just might be the case that Kari Skogland just can't do hand-to-hand combat scenes the way the Russo brothers can, which is fine. That's why the Russo brothers directed the biggest undertaking in movie history. So, because they've proven themselves to be able to handle that kind of thing. And I found that to be a little bit disappointing. And again, that's on me if that's not what they were going for, but that's where I immediately went. And to get something that was chopped up like that and tough to follow was disappointing. But you're never going to find an enemy in me with a 30-minute action sequence to start a television show. So that was great. The new suit was dope. Talked about that. Love the 30-minute action sequence. I didn't Sam's speech, and I want to watch Sam's speech again. It's a little bit long. The one that he's given, everybody's recording. He's talking to the senators. He makes, like, I kind of want to watch it again because he makes so many references to what's going on in America today. And it was almost kind of hard for me to keep up with the parallels. And I kind of want to watch it again so I can be like, okay, this is parallels with this parallels with that, yada, yada, yada. But it's a long speech. It is, like I said, it's replete with a number of allusions to things happening in current day America. I'm trying to decide if I fall on the side of that was powerful or that was heavy handed. I don't really know how I feel about it just yet. I kind of want to watch it again. But what I did like about that scene is that I like the fact that everyone's watching it. Everyone looked inspired, and they cut to Isaiah and his grandson watching it, and so did they. And I thought that was really cool. And then, of course, Sam taking him to the memorial was awesome. Like, there was an article I saw before the episode dropped that said, like, episode 6 is going to make people cry. And I'm certain that was what they were referring to, was that scene. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. Let's see. Sam, Sharon Power Broker, Zemo the Flag Smashers killed. Contessa Valentina suggested she was behind that. Sharon Pardon. Yeah, so I've covered pretty much everything I want to talk about for this episode. So again, by and large, strong season. Not anything that I'm just like, oh man, that was amazing and breathtaking, but it was good. It was fun to watch. I did not find it the least bit boring. I thought the finale was pretty solid. I did have the couple of issues that I mentioned, but we arrived where we needed to be. We got Sam in a Captain America outfit. We got Sharon doing Lord knows what. Who knows what Sharon's up to. And then we do still have, I think, the forming of the Thunderbolts. to some degree. It wasn't as official as I thought, because I think we kind of figured like she might, maybe Contessa might break Zemo out of prison or something like that, and maybe they'll save that for a future television show or movie. But it does seem pretty clear that's the direction we're going. So let me know what you think of the show. Let me know what you think of this episode. Let me know what you think of the Thunderbolts, the Power Broker reveal. What you think of Sam's speech? Well, did you find that to be powerful? Did you find it to be a little long, a little, what'd you feel about it? So, I'll be back to cover Loki. I believe it comes out June 11th, somewhere in that range. I'll be back to cover Loki, and we will be doing the same thing we did with this. So I'll put out an initial reaction on Fridays, and then I will do a deep dive with Axel, and then we will have Delvin for the entirety of the 6-episode run of Loki. So that will be me, Axel, and Delvin doing a deep dive every Sunday, which I will probably post on Tuesdays, as I did with this. And that'll be the plan for Loki going forward. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys for Loki in June. Peace.